Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, 50 Shades of Black and White, where I wipe away the stigma of mental health by talking about my own personal experiences with borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, narcissistic personality disorder, anxiety, panic, and a host of many other mental illnesses and personality disorders. I only come on as a former patient. I'm not a therapist. I don't have a license in therapy. I've taken one psychology course. I do not have a degree in psychology. So I am not coming on as a professional. I can only relay my personal experiences and give you my opinions. And all I ask of you is to be kind to me and kind to others in the comments, which I haven't been receiving lately. I want to have people to have freedom of speech on my channel. So I've kept the comments, but some of them have been nasty to me and nasty to others, and I'm not liking what I see. And I'm going to have to judge it day to day, because I will not allow or tolerate anyone being unkind, insensitive, bullying, name-calling, or anything else. So, if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, welcome. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free. Now, because of the comments, I want to come on and say that I will not now or ever will be silenced again. That's going to be the whole topic of my video today. That for years as a child, I've been told, not to say this, not to say that. I lived under the shadow of a very abusive, narcissistic mother. And I went into therapy, and I was sexually abused by my psychologist and told to keep that quiet, and I will no longer keep quiet. So, there it is, out in the open. I am not going to be keeping quiet. I'm going to come on my channel, and I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to name names, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I was abused. It's been 2.5 years away from those psychologists that sexually abused me. And let me tell you how, if you think I'm a victim, how I am no longer a victim. People think because you speak out, you're a victim. That's not true. If you don't speak out, you're a victim, because you're keeping quiet. You're protecting the people who are abusing patients. You're keeping quiet, so you're an enabler. That's what it is. You're enabling whoever abused you to go on and abuse someone else. And it doesn't have to be a psychologist. It could be anyone out there. It could be a priest. It could be a boss. You see, it could be a politician. It could be a parent. What I'm trying to say is, by keeping quiet, you are allowing other people to be abused, and you are playing the role of a victim. By my speaking out, I am no longer being a victim. I am no longer protecting the doctors who sexually abused me. I have filed complaints with licensing boards, to many of them. And I have written books. Since I've quit therapy, I no longer drink vodka. Now I'm only drinking 2 glasses of wine a day. That's it, 2 a day. My mother-in-law drank 2 glasses of wine her whole life and lived well into her 90s. My aunt lived almost to 100 and drank 2 glasses of wine a day. Some people might think that's a bit much, but I don't smoke. I don't do any recreational drugs. In fact, I don't take any drugs. Not prescription, recreational, or anything. Zero. I was into pornography when I was with these psychologists who sexually abused me. I stopped that years ago. So I no longer do that. I used to steal. I was a kleptomaniac because of what the therapist did to me. Before I went into therapy with these abusive therapists, I never did any of these things. I no longer do that. So I think I'm pretty well adjusted now, since I've left therapy. Since I left the abusers, okay, who abused me. I'm getting money for my books. I'm getting money for my YouTube channel. I'm not rich on it. I'm not pretending to be rich on it. But I'm getting money. Getting money for doing these videos. Getting money for telling my story. And I feel empowered. I feel really good about myself doing this. That's why I won't let anyone put me down. Because I'm not going to protect the people who did what they did, because it's statutory rape. Okay? I'm going to come out and say it. It took me a long, long time to get to where I am right now. A long time. Many, many years. And nobody is going to bring me down. Nobody. Okay? Nobody is going to keep me quiet. If you have a problem with that, that's your problem. That ain't my problem. Okay? I'm going to come on because I don't believe in protecting people. Oh, well, what about their families, you know? Well, you know what? They should have thought about their families before they sexually abused me, don't you think? They should have thought about that, right? I mean, really, some people have a lot of gall, you know? They didn't do that. I was brainwashed for years by the psychologist having sex with me. And the other psychologist, Dr. Richard Geis, who was protecting him. They both told me, you can never tell anyone. They brainwashed me into thinking that I would destroy everyone's lives. Like the subscriber who is trying to do with her comment. You will destroy other people's lives. Meaning, the psychologist, Dr. James Barbaria, all his patients, where will they go if I lose my license to practice, Sandra? You will have destroyed all of their lives. 40 people, because he had like 40 patients. You will have destroyed 40 people's lives. And I bought that for a while when I was weak, you know, feeble-minded. But something in me grew stronger, and I took back my own life. And you can too, okay? I took back my own life, and I said, I don't have a doctorate degree. I didn't take an oath, do no harm. I don't owe his patients anything. I have nothing to do with his patients. I don't know his patients. He's their doctor. He took an oath to do no harm. He's the one who, you know, raped me. I mean, really. And those two psychologists, him and the other one protecting him, Dr. Richard Geis, they're telling me I'm responsible. So I talked to people and I looked up things on the internet. Everything I looked up said the psychologist is always 100% responsible. People I talked to told me, you didn't do anything. You're the victim. You were only going to them for help to try to get better for your mental health. You were the brave one. You were the one who was trying to get help. They were the doctor, the one in power. They were trying to, you know, they were the ones who were supposed to help me. And then I started seeing things a little differently, you know. Started saying, wait a minute. Wait a minute here, you know. I'm not responsible at all for what happened. I've been victimized. It's just like people, you know, who will say a woman gets raped. Well, why did you wear that low-cut shirt? Why did you wear that high, you know, skirt? Huh? Why did you go in the bar all alone? See how they always blame the victim? always blame the victim. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Those men couldn't control themselves. It was your fault. Do you see? And I will not tolerate that. I'm just coming out to tell you. I tolerated it for years by a Harvard psychologist, by a Yale psychologist, by a Duquesne psychologist, doctorate degrees, people making, 200, 300,000 a year, trying to, tell me it was all my fault and that I needed to be silenced. And if I spoke up, I was going to ruin 40 people's lives, the patient's lives. Oh, and the psychologist's family, I was going to ruin his family. I mean, you really gotta, people are so, I don't even know the word for it, okay? But I'm just telling you one thing. I will no longer be silenced. I will speak up against everyone as a patient advocate, because too many people have been victimized, have been, done terrible crimes to. And it's horrible, bad enough that they've had these heinous crimes committed to them. But then they're made to feel blamed for them. Okay? And I'm done with that. I'm done with that shit. Okay? Let me just tell you, I'm done with it. I have reported all the psychologists. I reported Dr. Eugene Newman. I reported Dr. James Barbaria. I reported Dr. Richard Geis. I reported William Cates Jr. He wasn't a doctor. He only had a master's degree. The one that wanted to have phone sex with me. I reported them. Do I care about their families or their patients? Actually, I did their patients, and families a favor. That's what I think. That brought them out in the light and saying, look what you have here. I think I've done them a service. I think I've done them a really good service by speaking up. Because if I was going to someone, a doctor, and he was, abusing other patients, I would want to know. If my spouse or husband or dad or whatever it was abusing people, I would want to know. I would want to know, okay? I don't think keeping people in the dark is, protecting people. Not at all. It's the exact opposite. It's not protecting people, So, I don't believe that people should be quiet when they've been abused. I believe they should come out. They should, name the names, go against these people, make complaints to the licensing board, or if it's someone else like your boss, talk to the higher ups. So get a lawyer. But in my case, I was, from my childhood, because I was an only child, and I had no one. I was kept in the dark. I was kept in my room, locked in my room, and I was told not to say anything to nobody. And when I grew up and repeated, because you repeat your trauma, when you usually repeat, history repeats itself. When I repeated my abuse with these narcissistic psychologists, and they told me that I couldn't speak up, that I would be responsible for all their patients and all this bull crap they were throwing at me, and I was buying it, I was staying quiet. And, I did that for so many years, and then I turned into an alcoholic, and then I went into pornography, and then I started stealing in my late 40s, 50s. I started doing all these things. I was rapidly ready for a breakdown. I mean, I never had a breakdown, but I was this close to having a nervous breakdown. And then, I don't know what just happened. It's like, I read things about psychologists, their responsibilities. I talked to different people, and they said, I've been victimized, I've been abused, I've been sexually abused. It's statutory rape. And I never really, because I was so brainwashed. They brainwashed me, They said, you're responsible for what happened. Just like a lot of people think the way a girl dresses is responsible if men attack her. They go, well, it was because why did you wear that low cut? See what I'm saying? They always blame the victim. So it took a long time to get to where I am today, and I'm really proud of myself, for where I am. And no one is gonna bring me down. Okay, nobody. I'm gonna say that right now. Nobody is gonna bring me down, and I'm gonna keep this channel going, and I'm gonna keep, talking about what happened and talking about everything else that applies to mental health. And all I ask is kindness. You don't have to agree with me, but you can disagree without calling names, okay? Or, throwing stones, You can just say, well, I don't agree with that, You can say that, but I won't tolerate disrespect, okay? If I want everyone to be able to voice their opinion, but if they're going to keep being disrespectful, then I will, hide them from my channel and hide their comments, because I won't tolerate that. I tolerated that too long in my life, and I will no longer tolerate that. And here's my advice to you. If someone does something, against you, abuses you in any way, verbally, emotionally, sexually, physically, abuses you, please don't keep quiet. Don't let them talk you into keeping quiet. Please report them to the authorities. There's authorities, there's, go to the police if it's, physical abuse or, sexual abuse. If it's a psychologist, or go to the licensing boards. There's always somewhere. And don't let them make you feel guilty, because it's not your fault. Listen to me. It is not your fault. And they're responsible. You're not responsible for their family. You're not responsible for their patients. You're not responsible. You're only responsible for yourself. So stay strong, okay?